Ah, my dear friend, come sit beside me. You know, at 80 years old, I've lived a life filled with ups, downs, and a whole lot of unexpected adventures. And let me tell you, some of the best lessons, the ones that truly make you laugh and cry at the same time, came after I turned 60. Can you believe it? 60. That age when society whispers, slow down, and I say, slow down. Ha! My blood doesn't know how to slow down. Now today, I want to share with you a little secret I discovered not long ago. Something that changed how I feel in the mornings, in the evenings, and, if I may be honest, well, in some private moments that I won't get too scandalous about, but let's just say it's about energy, passion, and circulation. Yes, friend, circulation. The lifeblood that keeps us spry, alert, and, let's face it, pleasantly surprising for our partners, if you know what I mean. You see, at 78, I was feeling sluggish. My joints creaked, my heart pounded like a drum in a bad rock band, and intimacy? Well, let's just say it was more like watching a documentary than a feature film. Then, on a sunny Tuesday morning, my dear friend Mabel, bless her soul, whispered, "Paul, try drinking this glass each morning for a week. I promise you'll feel alive." Now, Mabel is 79, sharp as a tack, and has a humor that could make even a stone grin. So you know I had to try it, if only to see if her fancy idea worked, or if she just liked watching me squirm. So I poured myself a glass of what she called the magical morning elixir. And, well, friend, the first thing I noticed was the warmth that spread through my veins. It was like waking up the entire circulatory system with a marching band. The blood was flowing, the joints were less complainy, and my mind? Oh, my mind was dancing the cha-cha before my morning toast. And here's where it gets really interesting. After just 3 days, I noticed little things. My hands weren't turning into ice blocks when I grabbed my morning coffee. My feet weren't complaining when I walked to the mailbox. And yes, in those private moments I hinted at earlier, let's just say the enthusiasm returned. Friend, it was as if I'd been gifted a second wind in life, a little nudge from the universe saying, "Paul, you're not done yet." By day 5, I was practically skipping around my garden, waving to the neighbors like a mischievous teenager. The circulation boost wasn't just physical. It felt like my soul had decided to come out for a morning stroll. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like rediscovering a bit of zest for life at this age. I even caught myself laughing at the absurdity of feeling young in an 80-year-old body. Isn't life funny that way? My friend, I have to stop here for a second to say, if you're enjoying this little escapade, don't forget to hit that like button, comment on what you're feeling, and of course, subscribe for more stories from an old man who refuses to sit quietly. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next part of this adventure. It gets even more interesting and a lot more hilarious. Now back to our tale. You see, the real magic wasn't just in the glass. It was in consistency, in giving my body a chance to wake up and say, "Ah, yes, I remember this feeling." My morning glass became a ritual, a sacred little dance between me and my well-being. I looked forward to it more than my morning crossword puzzle or the latest episode of whatever dramatic soap the grandchildren were watching. And the best part, friend, it was simple. 1 glass, 7 days, and a promise of renewed energy. And speaking of promises, let me share a little anecdote that had me in stitches. On day 6, I decided to take a brisk walk down to the park. Nothing fancy, mind you, just me, my walking stick, and a sense of newfound vigor. Halfway there, I noticed Mrs. Thompson, our dear neighbor, struggling with her groceries. Now, I've always fancied myself a gentleman, though my knees don't agree, and I thought, why not help? I rushed over, helped her carry those bags, and before I knew it, We were laughing like children who had discovered a secret treasure. My circulation was booming, my heart was full, and my spirit, well, my friend, my spirit was practically tap dancing across the pavement. And intimacy, yes, we can't ignore that. The glass wasn't some magical potion in the mystical sense, but it worked wonders in ensuring my body was in tune with itself. Feeling alive, my dear, has this beautiful side effect. It radiates. It radiates to your partner, your friends, even strangers on the street who can sense when a person is truly in harmony with themselves. And I must say, friend, that feeling of being fully alive is worth its weight in gold, perhaps even more. By day 7, I was practically a new man. I approached life with a renewed zest, a wink in my eye, and jokes that somehow got better with age, like wine, or perhaps like me. And all it took was one glass each morning for 7 days. Simple, yet transformative. Isn't that incredible? It's funny how the smallest habits, when repeated, can become the most powerful forces in our lives. Now, I won't pretend it's just about the drink. The real magic is in embracing life with humor, curiosity, and a touch of mischief. After all, friend, we're 60 and above, and yet life isn't done with us, not by a long shot. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that laughter, joy, and a willingness to try new things are as important as any medicine or elixir. The glass is simply a reminder to care for yourself, to wake up fully, and to embrace all the delights that come with age. So keep this little secret close, try it for yourself, and remember, vitality isn't just in youth, it's in spirit, in heart, and yes, in circulation. But don't worry, friend, I'll tell you more about what happens when you extend this ritual, and trust me, it gets delightfully amusing. Wait until you hear about my little misadventures trying to explain this to my grandchildren without raising too many eyebrows. That alone could fill a book. And oh, the jokes! Friend, I must tell you, I laughed more than I have in years. I laughed at myself, at life, at the absurdity of trying to act 30 at 80. And laughter, let me tell you, is like the cherry on top of the cake. It amplifies everything. The energy, the circulation, the intimacy, and the joy of simply being alive. And if you mix it with a healthy dose of morning elixir, well, then you're cooking with magic, my dear friend. So as we near the end of this first chapter of my little experiment, remember this: never underestimate what a small, consistent habit can do. One glass each morning, 7 days, a sprinkle of humor, and a dash of audacity. That's my recipe for feeling alive at 80. And friend, I promise.
Now that you've seen how a simple glass can revive my mornings, let me share the deeper magic, the kind that sneaks into every part of your life, sometimes unnoticed, sometimes with a dramatic bang. By the way, it's also about what this little ritual taught me about patience, persistence, and, yes, the audacity to laugh at your own age. After the 7 days, I noticed a shift, not just in my energy, but in my confidence. Imagine, friend, waking up and feeling a tingle in your toes, a warmth in your fingertips, and a twinkle in your eye that says, "Watch out, world, Paul is alive and kicking." I felt a sense of rejuvenation I hadn't experienced since, well, let's say the days when I thought dancing at my wedding was my peak performance. Oh, those were days. But now I realize this peak can happen again, just with a slightly slower rhythm and a touch more wisdom. Now, let's talk about intimacy. Not the polite version, the real, honest, heart-skipping kind. Friend, I'll be blunt. Feeling physically alive has a way of reconnecting you with your own desires. That little glass of goodness in the morning became a symbol, a ritual of saying, "Paul, you still have fire, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise."
And let me tell you, friend, there's nothing quite like sharing that spark with someone who remembers the fire, too. It's electrifying, it's rejuvenating, and yes, it's hysterically funny when you almost trip over your own feet trying to be romantic. At 80, you get to laugh at yourself while still feeling every bit of passion. What a gift! Ah, but here's where I must be dramatic, because what's life without a touch of drama? On day 8, I realized something crucial. Circulation is not just physical, it's emotional, it's social, it's mental. The warmth I felt in my veins mirrored the warmth I felt in my friendships, in my laughter, in the small acts of kindness I performed each day. The glass was just the starting point, the ritual that reminded me life flows when your heart and your blood flow. When you nourish yourself, you nourish your connections, your joy, and your very being. And humor, my friend, is a big part of this. Every time I took that glass in the morning, I couldn't help but giggle at the thought of my past self. Oh, the silly things I used to worry about. And now I sip, I smile, and I feel a mischievous spark. There's a lesson here, don't you see? At any age, laughter is a bridge between yesterday and today, between youth and wisdom, between desire and fulfillment. And when paired with a simple ritual like my morning glass, it's transformative. One particularly hilarious morning, I tried to explain this little routine to my 60-year-old niece. I say, just one glass and 7 days. She looks at me like I'm trying to sell her snake oil. But I insist, friend, with all the drama of a Shakespearean actor, and she bursts out happy. That laughter, that shared joy, is part of the magic too. It's not just the circulation, it's the human connection that grows stronger when we care for ourselves. And you know what? That's why I keep sharing this story over and over. Because, friend, it's not just a glass, it's a metaphor, a lesson, a time